You know, I think when Adrian Peterson came back in those 9 months, everyone thinks that's the timetable for an ACL. It's not. So it's a year, right? So if Jamal plays in September, he's ahead of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I think people lose sight of that when they think, oh, he's not back yet, but he's not supposed to be back yet.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson rushing for 2,000 yards after an ACL, you're like, well, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's not at all.
What did you think when you heard, especially when you got the details, what happened to Teddy Bridgewater?
Oh, man. So I knew it was a dislocated knee when I heard about it right away because that's the only injury where you have to go to the hospital right now. And the reason I know that is because Oregon had a tight end a couple years ago who did the same thing in Utah, and he almost lost his leg.
Is that the fear for the arterial damage?
And the nerve, too.
Yep.
When you dislocate your knee, everything just shreds up, just like the way it moves. So that's what I thought right away. And I was there in Minnesota, so I know the trainers. And that's why, like the training staffs have these protocols in place. They called the ambulance that was there in 13 minutes. It took him off, and he got it fixed. That's tough when you plan your whole season around a quarterback. There's only, 15, 20 elite quarterbacks anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you can just pick someone up and plug them in. So when you plan your whole season around a quarterback like that, it's devastating. That's why you saw the guys in such, just visibly shaken because you just lost your star quarterback who you're expecting to lead your team to the playoffs in the future, and that's a terrible injury.
We're talking to Geoff Schwartz, who's in studio, offensive lineman, and he's been around. He's on the street now, and you think you're very confident you get picked up in a week or so, right? When the whole roster things and all that stuff goes down.
I've seen the depth in the league, and I'm a guy that you're not really going to keep me around just to practice.
Mm-hmm.
I can play now. I mean, I'll be a guy. Guy gets hurt. Hey, Schwartz he can play now. Type of guy. So, injuries are unfortunate. I've lost my job twice to injuries, so I know how.
With the Giants, you were banged up a lot.
And then in Carolina, I was a starter, had hip surgery. They brought someone else in. He played well. I was gone. It happened. So, I'll just watch games this weekend like a fan, and just kind of see what happens. Wait for my agent to call me.
Can you give me some betting tips here, and maybe I'll make myself a few bucks?
I don't know about that, but I think this Carolina game. I think Carolina is going to win.
You do.
I picked Denver to win the Super Bowl.
This year or last year?
Last year. I win that physical game. I didn't pick them in the offseason.
I got you.
But I think Denver's bringing a new quarterback. I mean, that's hard, rookie quarterback. I know it's at home, but okay, he's going to be fired up anyways to play, and they're going to go through the whole ring thing, the whole winning a championship. I mean, he's going to have to sit there for a long time.
Don't you think Denver can get stale though?
Yeah, I mean, I think the quarterback is going to have to control his emotions really early because he can get worn out just standing there for 30 minutes.
I got you.
During the ceremony. He's gonna, and I think Carolina wants revenge. Is that a word? Revenge. I mean,
you tell me.
Yeah,
I mean, is that really?
As much as they say that's not the case, I think so.
I was going to say, does that carry over for 5 months?
I think it's the offensive linemen, that didn't play very well in that game.
4 and 5 months.
They're going to want to play well, and they're going to want to show that was a fluke game. And I'm excited to watch. I mean, football's bad. Football season's the best.
It's awesome. There's no doubt.
It's the greatest thing. I mean, college football was great last weekend, and now we really get real NFL football. Preseason doesn't count.
No.
And I'm just excited for it to go.
It doesn't count, and we're talking to Geoff Schwartz here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio. It doesn't count, but can you give us a percentage, whether it's Carson Wentz or whenever Jared Goff eventually gets in there, Dak Prescott for the Cowboys, can you give us a percentage like how Trevor Siemian, like what percentage of new stuff will they see now that the season's starting and coordinators are going to actually do exotic stuff? 70% increase?
It's hard to give a percent because, okay, you might see a lot of the same pressures you're going to see in the regular season, in the preseason. They're just not at the right time. Like, teams will say, okay, we're going to work on this pressure this week. When we played the Steelers in the first preseason game this year when I was with the Lions, they ran like weird corner pressure. They ran like 12 of them. And they would never normally do that. But that's what they wanted to work on that week, was running that pressure. So I think you'll see pressures coordinated to down and distance, to formation, things that they haven't seen yet. And then the speed picks up. There's a different speed between the preseason week 1, 2, 3, and then there's a different speed in the playoff push, a different speed in the playoffs. So he's going to see things are going to happen faster, a lot faster.
Good luck, buddy. Yeah, good luck,
but
man.
Dak has more advantages with the offensive line. And
there's no question. No question.
They'll keep him upright.
Yeah. You think Tony Romo's done?
Man, he wants to play still. They're keeping an active roster. I mean, with back injuries,
he's messing around with something.
He's very competitive.
Yeah.
I wonder if eventually the doctors are going to tell him, like, dude, I mean, you got if he gets injured one more time after this, I think he's got to be done. Right?
But it's different skeletal versus
muscular,
or even nerves. I mean, the skeletal.
I mean, Peyton Manning
is going to repair itself.
Peyton Manning played with a nerve issue for a couple of years, so you can do it if you
I know.
really want to do it.
I know.
You know, some guys are able to push through that. I mean, you know, Manning couldn't really feel the ball. He said. I mean, that's incredible. And he kept playing. So if Romo wants to keep playing, then more power to him.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a team doctor tells him like, hey, you know, I think that you're putting yourself at risk. But you know, this injury he has now doesn't seem to be that bad. I mean, breaking your back, I mean, sounds awful, but
it does sound pretty.
It seems like it's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah. Geoff Schwartz with us here in studio. So you mentioned you were with Detroit for a little bit this summer. You know, Matthew Stafford's a complex guy from my seat,
right?
To evaluate, position. What's the story with him? I know the stats every year are really good, almost 5,000 yards. Are you a big Stafford guy? What is he like in the huddle? What did you take away from your time with him?
I know he had Megatron. Everyone thinks, oh, you should make the playoffs with one wide receiver. It doesn't work that way.
No, but you should have good stats.
Guys, right, and he did.
Yeah.
If you look at guys that make the playoffs, they have multiple weapons.
No
right?
question.
I mean, the Giants, the last 2 years, I was on the Giants. We didn't make the playoffs just with having Odell, right? You have to have a lot of weapons.
Yep.
I think now this will be the first year where he has a lot of weapons. You got Marvin Jones, and you got Tate, Ebron, got some running backs. They put in a new offense, an offense geared for him. Kind of at the line of scrimmage, he can make decisions on where he wants to go with the ball. He doesn't have to just, you know, play action pass and throw it as deep as he can to Megatron. So they're giving him a lot more options to make him comfortable to where he wants to throw the ball. So this year will be a good tell to see.
Is he a good leader?
Yeah, he's a great leader.
Okay.
Yeah. I think when you play quarterback that long and be successful, you just naturally become a leader. And I wasn't in the huddle with him very much.
No, I know
you
you weren't.
Running with the twos. But he knows what he's doing. I mean, that's not, you know, guys trust him. He knows the offense, and from what I saw, I mean, he can sling the ball. There's no
nobody disputes that.
Yeah. So we'll see how this season goes. I'm excited to watch the offense. You know, even though they installed the offense a little bit last year and they played well with it, it does take time when you reinstall a new offense to kind of get going. And you saw that in the preseason. There were some disjointed parts. But, you know, they'll be Sunday at 1 o'clock. Actually, they're 4:15. I'll be watching them play the Colts.
They're playing the Colts, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you played with a young Cam.
I did.
Let's get to some of the quarters. So I mentioned
Right.
Cam, Eli, Alex Smith.
Yeah.
We won't waste time on Ponder or Clausen, no disrespect. Your first impressions of a young Cam Newton?
He was a large human to play quarterback. I mean, he was
a large human.
Like he not built like a quarterback, and he doesn't run like a quarterback.
No.
And you know, I was injured that year, and I spent some time with him in the huddle early on because I was with the ones and twos that year and kind of rotating back and forth. And you know, he's extremely talented. I mean, I think you've seen him improve as a passer. I think that's what people wanted to see from him. Hey, can he stand in the pocket and throw? Because if you look, there was a trend for a couple years in the NFL, and this is a couple years ago, where the spread offense quarterback, right? But it's moved away from that really quickly. You have to be able to throw in the pocket. You can't run around. He's been really one of the only running quarterbacks who hasn't been killed by injury, right? I mean, everyone else is getting hurt. He's just so big and strong. So I think you've seen him transition to a pocket passer because that's what wins in this league. And Shula's done a good job of making him into that. And you know, he wasn't that when he was a rookie. You know, when you're a rookie, when you're young, you just try to survive. And now
Was he a good teammate?
Yeah, he's a great teammate.
Good guy?
Yeah, and I know the guys there still, a couple of guys, and they like playing for him. And you know, I think that I think it's good of him to. I think he ended the dab. They probably have a new celebration this year.
Yeah, that's the end of the road.
I don't mind the celebrations. I mean, if you score,
I'll have fun. You guys work too hard not to.
If you score a touchdown,
yep,
you can do whatever you want.
I agree with
if
you.
If I score a touchdown, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Well, we don't want to see that. We don't need to see the big nasties getting loose.
I mean, I don't know what I would do. Maybe like a big spike. I can't do much. I can't dance.
Big spike.
I can't. But I like a spike where like it's so ferocious I fall down or something. I don't know. But I can't dance. I'm not dancing.
I'm
not taking the fine. I work too hard to get fined for a celebration.
Yeah.
I'm not giving back my money.
So this book, we got this about a week or so ago. It came across my desk. You and your brother. It's called Eat My Schwartz, Geoff and Mitch Schwartz. And you guys obviously have a unique road here being Jewish. And I believe the last time two brothers, 1923, I want to say. I mean, so tell us a little bit about the book. We'll pump it up for you. It looks like it's a funny, loose look at the way you guys got to the league.
Yeah, it's a good, unique experience. You know, I think that we weren't the stereotypical NFLers. We didn't start playing football until we were in high school. And I think you just see our evolution through our family with our faith being Jewish, and the food. Food's a huge aspect. We have recipes in there. We love to cook. I don't think you'd imagine, you know.
I'm sure you like to eat. You like to cook as well?
Well, of course I like to eat.
All right.
I think that, you know, that's unique. My brother and I, You see us, you think we eat a lot, but we also cook a lot of our own food, and we got recipes in there, and we had a fun time doing it. We got some pictures and stuff for people who like pictures.
You